Okay, so as you know, there are currently 15 units that are not released in the global server that are released in the Korean server, right? And today we'll be talking about the top 3 units that you should be saving for, right? Do keep in mind that half of this is like my opinion, right? Like I will show you usage statistics about these units that I do mention, and they are very popular. But I also add a little bit of my opinion after testing out a lot of these units, and I will give you my reasoning as to why they will be probably the most game-changing out of all 15s that will be released, right? So we will be showcasing some of their abilities as well. If you do want to check out a full list of 15 units, I have made a previous video below. If I don't forget it, I will also link it in the pinned comment where you can see all 15 units, their abilities and their translated like skill descriptions. So if you are interested in that, make sure to check it out. And also, if you are new here and want to keep up with more Starseed content, make sure to subscribe. Okay, let's go. Okay, so first of all, let's check their skills real quick, right? So when it comes to her, her regular Awaken type ultimate is it's a bit DPS nuke, and it also adds extra DPS if the target is bleeding, and she does have a bleeding on one of her skills, so you will be able to apply it by herself. You do not need another unit in order to add the bleeding, so you can get extra damage, right? And the Blossom ultimate, it will essentially target the highest attack unit on the enemy team, which usually will be either a fighter or an archer slash ranger, whatever you want to call them, right? It will teleport behind that enemy, and it will do extra damage if the target is bleeding, as well as add a stun on the target, right? And the reason she teleports behind enemies specifically is because of her passive, and in her passive she does get some extra damage whenever she attacks the unit from behind, right? On top of that, her passive increases her attack and attack speed when she is in stealth mode, and she will go in stealth mode from one of her skills, right? So once we look at the active skill 1, this one, it will essentially, again, just like the Blossom ultimate, will teleport behind the highest attack unit. It will damage and stun them for 3.5 seconds when maxed, right? Also, she has a follow-up ability, so if she is using an Awaken form of her ultimate, right, she will specifically target ranger type units, which means that if you do have a ranger or archer, whatever you want to call it, in your team, she will specifically be going for those units with the skill. If you do have a Blossom ultimate activated, she will target an attacker instead, right? So attackers, fighters, those are basically the DPS units that aren't rangers. I'm not sure what you even want to call them. So yeah, it will target a fighter type unit. However, with this one, if she does have the Blossom ability, she will also go into stealth mode. So she'll go into stealth for 12 seconds, and she will reset cooldowns if she does kill a unit, right? So you have to play around whether you want to be nuking the backline archers if there are any in the team, or you want to be going for the Blossom ability and playing around that stealth mode, right? Now for active skill 2, this one is a very regular one. She will do a little bit of damage as well as apply a bleeding effect, which is needed for her ultimates, right? With the passive we have already looked. She does extra damage if she's behind, as well as increases attack and attack speed when she is in stealth mode. So unfortunately this one, half of her passive only benefits her if she is using the Blossom ability, right? And her exclusive skill, which comes from the plugin, will essentially, when she drops below 30% HP, right, she will go into stealth mode immediately, which is sort of like a good safety fallback if she does get nuked a little bit too fast, right? And on top of that, she will also inflict a bleeding effect. So when it comes to using this unit, primarily, right, while this unit is still pretty good in PvE, especially in those more pink element focused teams, right? Whatever it's called, you want to call it fire. I know some people call it fire element. I still don't know, the names are too difficult, right? She will be primarily used in PvP. However, in PvP, right, if you are at least a little bit interested in PvP, you will want to be summoning this unit, and the simple reason is, while she may not be the biggest DPS or anything like that, right, her unique ability to go into stealth as well as simply target the backline archers on the enemy team will pretty much make her a must pick in the regular arena as well as one of the 3v3 arenas. So if you open up the top rankings of the Korean server, you can already see that she is pretty much being picked in every single defense there is. So you can see this is her regular skin, the third one from the rank 1 guy, as well as her bikini skin or whatever you're gonna call them, right? In, for example, rank 2 and rank 3, the first picks. And yeah, as you can see, if you scroll down, she is pretty much picked in almost every defense there is, right? So yeah, she will be a very unique unit. I'll try to showcase it a bit as well. And the main reason why she is OP is, now take a look at the defenses from the top ranking people and try to see how many archer or ranger units there are in their defenses. We see one in rank 2, right? But after that, yeah, we are gonna scroll. We can see a few in rank 6, but as you notice, archers are really off meta due to this unit, right? If you place an archer in there, as soon as you place Rachel in your own team, when it comes to countering that, she will be able to one-shot them quite easily. That's what makes Rangers a bit of a less popular pick due to this unit, right? So yeah, if you really want to have a solid counter to the backline units of the enemy's PvP team, she will be the pick for you. And just to give her a little bit of a showcase, right, I'm gonna try to hit a few teams with rangers in them, right? Unfortunately for this one, the ranger is of water element, so using a water element ranger will be some sort of like a soft counter, because unfortunately Rachel is of pink element, which does get countered by the water, the blue element, right? So she may not be doing the highest DPS, however we can still check her performance out. Although now that I think about it, I think I may have left her blossom skill on, so let me check. Yeah, I do have her blossom skill on, so unfortunately she will not target the archer in the backline. But again, we can give it a game, right? We can see how she performs, if she is able to do anything. So far it's just a thief showcase, right? Yeah, unfortunately, yeah, when it comes to her blossom skill, that's a skill I like to use more when it comes to bosses. She still did pretty good damage, right? Like, apart if you remove what's it called, if you remove the thief, she did do decent-ish DPS. Let me try to find her a match where she can counter the backline a bit, as well as use her with her awaken skill instead of her blossom skill. Okay, and there we go. I found one team that does have a backline archer as well. It is the same element, so she should be able to do a little bit more damage to it, right? So we're gonna use her in the awakened form, and we're gonna see her jump. She technically should jump towards the ranger, right, if her skill descriptions are correct. Because I've seen a little bit of a weird mechanic when it comes to using her skills, right? So she sometimes jumps to a tank. That could be because of a provoke, right? But let's wait. There we go. She uses the active skill, and as you can see, one active skill, and she did like 50% of the damage. Unfortunately, she lost focus, but yeah, I believe that was her ultimate, right? And she nuked that archer quite literally in a single shot, and yeah, she finishes this unit. We'll check out the damage in just a second. But as you can see, once you have her in your team, the enemy is simply not able to use any rangers. And yeah, damage wise, even the thief couldn't compete in this one. That's pretty much all her, right? So yeah, if you are someone who is interested in PvP, Rachel will be a must summon. Whether you summon one copy or more, that's up to you, right? Because there'll definitely be even better options coming up soon. But yeah, if you are someone who's interested in PvP, if you are interested in ranking in the leaderboards, you will really want to summon this unit. Now, for the second most important pick to save for, right? This will be a weird category, right? Because I will include both the light and dark units. And the light and dark units you want to be going for is whichever ones are released. I know it sounds weird, right? But here's the deal with these units, right? Light and dark units have an extremely low chance of being summoned, right? And if you are someone who is planning on using certain light and dark units, right? Whenever their pickup banner comes on, right? Like the new unit banner, for example, as we now have this one, Claudia, right? Usually these banners have a 1.6% chance to be summoned, right? For regular elements, this seems pretty normal, right? The thing is, light and dark banners also have a 1.6% chance to be summoned whenever they come out from these pickup banners, right? And yeah, if you look at the regular summons, after the banner has been completed, you can select two of your light and dark units that you want to summon, right? But look at the odds of them. The odds drop dramatically, right? When it comes to regular units, you can get them with, that's what I believe, 4 times higher odds than the light and darks. You also have the ability to get these regular units through the friendship summons, right? You'll also get a lot of like purple or these pink little item cards where you can just get these units regularly, right? There's a lot more ways to pick up regular element units compared to the light and dark ones. That's why if you do intend on using a light and dark unit whenever the pickup banner comes on, this is one of the main things you should be summoning for, regardless of the unit, right? Like at least pick up 1 copy of each light and dark unit that comes out, even if you don't plan on using it much, right? Because later on, let me tell you, it will be close to impossible to pick them up. For example, Frederica, right? This is one of my favorite units in this game. She did have a banner. I was able to snag 2 copies of her through her banner, right? Unfortunately, almost 2 months later, I have not summoned a single extra copy from the regular banner, and I've done, I would say, at least like close to 500, if not more, regular pickup summons. So yeah, if you plan on summoning these dark and light units, trust me, you really want to focus on getting them. I would say both of the new light and dark units that will come out are quite good, right? So one of them is the light archer. I will not go through their skills too much. You can still check out the video where I showed all of their skills already previously, right? But yeah, for this archer, the archer is definitely less popular in PvP, right? When it comes to PvP, Frederica will be your choice. Again, very simple thing. Archers are having a very tough time in PvP currently due to the assassin being in meta, right? But when it comes to PvE, I would say both of the options are super good. I myself am more of a fan of Frederica than I am of the light archer, right? Because I've tried to use the light archer. She does have a very big AoE nuke, right? But Frederica just shines out more in terms of her skill uniqueness, right? And where this unit really shines is when it comes to her regular awaken skill, right? It has a very massive single target nuke on a single enemy with the highest attack power, which again very similar to the assassin fighter that I've mentioned in the last unit that I recommend, right? She is able to just sustain throughout the fight and then just casually lob a nuke into the backline, usually one-shotting the unit, right? She also has a lot of self-sustain. The only thing you have to know about Frederica is, unfortunately, if you want to make full use of her abilities, you are not able to have a light unit in her team, right? Because if there is no light unit in your team, your 2 units with the highest attack power will get an additional 65% attack boost, and unfortunately once you have a light unit in your team, that boost disappears, right? So yeah, if we go into a fight to check her out, You will see that I did remove the assassin from this team, so I'm hoping Frederica will be able to get one ult off, and I will showcase her nuke in front of that, right? Also, after the nuke, she will also give like a 3-second timer, I would say, and her umbrella will start dropping to the ground, and once the umbrella reaches her, she will also do a big AoE nuke around her, which just solidifies even more damage. So yeah, we're waiting for that ultimate to pop, right? Win or lose, it doesn't really matter. What I want to check here is the ultimate damage that she has, right? Although I hope the thief does not kill the backline unit. Yeah, I lost this fight, but come on, use the nuke. Let's see at the backline, and yeah, all the shields, all of that, 310k damage. You see the umbrella drop. It also damages their main tank for like 300k or something like that. And she does have the potential to solo, right? She does have the potential to go 1v5. As you can see, she also just one-shot the thief. The umbrella is dropping. It might also do a little bit of damage. No, fortunately it didn't. Yeah, let's just wait for her. I wonder if she could 1v3 this, right? We still have the share alive, right? She is gonna nuke. I believe she's gonna nuke the backline attack. No, she's nuking the share. She did half of her HP. The umbrella is dropping, and no, unfortunately that it didn't do enough damage. The weird thing is when the umbrella drops, sometimes it does damage, sometimes it doesn't. I think it has to do with the range of the skill, right? It's a little bit weird. So yeah, let's just wait for the ultimate, speed it up a little bit just to see if she is able to get through with it. She's still alive, she has a lot of self-sustain. She is able to upkeep her. There we go, another one-shot. Umbrella is dropping. One-shot the backline unit as well. 2v1 scenario. Yeah, as you can see, the potential to 1v5 with her is insane. Umbrella is dropping, massive damage drops. And yeah, that's pretty much a 1v5 from Frederica, right? Now, she does have a cool Blossom ability as well. I will say that Blossom, you will want to use Blossom a bit less, right? Blossom is more so for the boss fights where you are fighting a single boss, right? Because it will do a big self buff and it will allow her to nuke the boss with more attack speed and increased attack. But yeah, if you need such a clutch unit, as you can see, like, she is able to just 1v5. Look at the damage. Fully just carried. She has self-sustain, she has shields, heals, all of that. She is simply just an amazing unit, whether it is for PvP or PvE, right? And now for the first unit that I recommend, you must summon. No exceptions, right? Whether you summon one copy or more, that's up to you. She is of a regular element, so you can just pick more copies of her through the regular pool once her premium banner is over, right? But yeah, a fan favorite, a lot of you did see it coming. This will be the Thief L, right? So this is a unit that quite literally works everywhere, does everything, and you cannot make a team without her, right? PvE, PvP, bosses, she will dominate every single content that you can think of, and she will be the best at doing so, right? Just to showcase, I could literally go into any single piece of content. Let's just go to the Ascension Tower, right? Random floor, I haven't checked this floor out yet. I will put her in, I will put her Blossom skill on, and you will see that she will wipe the whole thing, right? So yeah, we can see her in the team, right? Level 190, she is 10 levels above the rest of my units. That's because I do prioritize upgrading her. We have the Blossom ability on, and yeah, I don't think I'll need to speak more about this unit. Just look at what she's able to do with her ultimate, right? Her main use is the ultimate, unfortunately. Her other skills are sort of, they're really nothing special, right? You mainly want to pay attention to the ultimate. But yeah, let's just wait for her ultimate to charge. The cool thing about her, she does have self-sustain in a form of a escape whenever she drops low, right? But yeah, let's wait for her ultimate. She drops the box, look at the enemy HP, and come on, don't make this any harder. Yeah, their HP, you can see that none of them have HP. yeah, that ultimate is simply that broken, right? So what it does is essentially she drops a box with her ultimate. Frederica actually out-damaged her, but do keep in mind that her skill was a single ultimate drop. Her other skills don't really do much, right? So at the start of the fight, she will drop these little envelopes on the enemy units, right? These envelopes act as damage over time, so she will start doing damage even without using any of her skills in the first place. And once she drops the box, she will do big AoE damage. That AoE damage gets increased if the enemy has a ladder on them. You will do extra damage to the unit with the highest attack as well, so it is an excellent way to kill backline units, much like the assassin does, right? Let's just wait for one more ultimate to drop, as long as the other units in my team do not kill all the units. And yeah, enemy HP is full, and now it is not so full. So yeah, when it comes to dealing with teams, she is able to do a massive AoE nuke. I would say this is even underselling it, right? She isn't performing as much damage in here. I will showcase a clip that I have pre-recorded a day or two ago where she absolutely dominates the scene. So here's a little pre-recorded clip from the other day, right? As you can see, all of the enemies are full. You can also pay attention to their total HP bar at the top here. And she has used her ultimate, the box drops. Look at the damage numbers on the right screen. Yeah, that was over 1 million damage. That dropped 50% of their HP, right? It one-shot a single unit. When it comes to ladders, you can see that she does have this, right? This little post mail, or whatever you want to call it. This is continuous damage over time, and it will be applied to the highest attack unit, if I remember it correctly. But yeah, when it comes to skills, she is able to escape damage whenever she gets low. She also jumps to the backline as a safety option, right? And ooh, the graphical glitches. So I specifically set this team to 4 supports just to see if she is able to be a single DPS in the team, right? Usually I wouldn't recommend this, right? You want to have at least 2 or 3 DPS in her team. But she is able to beat it as a solo DPS as well. She dropped another box. You can see the damage is just massive. And if we skip forward a little bit, you can see that, yeah, she was able to deal with it quite easily. Now also, I want to showcase her a bit in when it comes to boss battles as well, right? Because she is an amazing boss killer on top of that, right? When it comes to bosses, unfortunately you do not want to be using her Blossom skill, you want to be using her regular Awaken skill. The reason for that is Blossom is more so used to deal with a lot of units at once, right? It is an AoE ability. When it comes to her Awaken skill, it is a single target ability. However, it has the ability to ignore 100% of the enemy defense. So if you use it in this team, if everything works correctly, right, you should see her topping the damage charts quite easily. There was that little weekend mode, right? I know for global it was different. For me, it was the one where it's very similar to the guild fight, like this guild boss fight. However, you are able to use 9 units, and when using her Awaken skill, my damage was sitting at around, I believe it was somewhere like 5 million, 5.5 million. As soon as I switched her to regular Awaken mode, my damage jumped to 11 million and a bit, right? As again, like you can see, the damage is massive. I'm not even sure how Assassin is doing more damage, right? But that just shows that even the Assassin is able to perform in PvE. And yeah, once you use her abilities, as you can see, the damage is absolutely disgusting. She is hitting 2 million damage at this point. Frederica is not even close to getting that, although the the Assassin really surprised me here. So yeah, the damage is absolutely nuts. I have a feeling she will pass the Assassin. Yeah, she did. She did 3 million damage. 3 million damage is pretty much like half of this game damage, so yeah, absolutely insane. And yeah, let's just wait for this fight to finish. We'll check the final damage statistics in there. The cool thing, again, she is a unit that does have self-sustain in a form of a escape death, right? So whenever she gets low, she jumps to the backline. I got an LR. That is probably the first LR that I got from this content, right? If we look at the statistics, you can see that her damage is mastered, but also her damage taken is usually extremely high, right? So not only does she top the DPS charts quite easily, she's also a unit that can tank a lot of damage by herself as well. So yeah, Thief, if you are not planning on summoning her, unfortunately you will have to, because trust me, the gameplay without her is a bit of a struggle, right? Whether you build a safe team, whether you build a one-shot nuke team, she fits everything, she fits everywhere, PvP, PvE, every single content that you can think of, she will be amazing at, right? And yeah, that's pretty much the top picks that you should be saving your skull for. That's about it, and peace.